Hili ni jukwaa ambalo linazungumzia masuala ya mwanamke kwa upana, na inshallah tuna mengi tulopanga. Mariam, karibu katika kipindi Annisa Talk Show. Na kama unavyoona Mariam, tumevaa hijab, tumependeza. I believe mimi hivi nilivyo, this is a confidence booster for me. But then again, Mariam, have you ever come across a lot of videos on social media of our women taking off their hijab? What's the problem?
Social media plays a role. Information. You know, like when we start talking about the hijab, we talk about a lot of things. Unajua venye unasema like you're confident in regards to the hijab. That confidence is coming from somewhere. Somebody instilled that on you. But kuna mtu amekaa mahali, hijab was imposed on them. Let's understand, imposed, instilled. Ulifunzwa, ukapatiwa maelezi, yani uka-understand like hijab is part of who I am as a Muslim woman. And then there's somebody else, you know, amelazimishiwa. Umenielewa? Like, as much as she's a Muslim, born in and raised as a Muslim, hajapata ile kuelezewa, this is the importance of hijab. And that's the gap, you know, like, I keep saying, like, we have a gap in regards to the information we give our daughters. Unajua, umelelewa, wewe si Muislamu wewe, umelelewa kwa dini, wewe unajua hijab ni lazima. That's not information, man. That's not enough information.
Huko ni kukandamiza.
Hiyo ni kufinya, you know, like, let's have a conversation. We're moving towards a generation where children want conversation. Sit down, have a conversation, make somebody understand hii hijab ina umuhimu gani kwa maisha. You know, like as a Muslim, what does the hijab means to me, you know? And just even moving from the hijab, what does it even mean to be a Muslim woman?
Yes.
You know, what makes you a Muslim woman? We're all women, but the word Muslim, what makes you a Muslim woman?
Could it be trauma related? Kwa sababu ukiangalia experiences za wengi tulosoma madrasa miaka let's say 40 ya nyuma. Ni kwamba wengi wetu tulivalishwa hijab kupitia kikoto. Nadhani wakijua kikoto, Mariam. Like sasa pengine kule kwamba ilivishwa kwetu in a violent manner. Maybe that's why a lot of us right now as we speak wanaanza kuona haina tena maana. Pengine whatever we have been preached about sasa hivi haina uzito. Now we have been lied on.
I don't know, but they say spare the child and spare the rod and spoil the child. So personally, as an advocate, I'm anti-beating children, right? But I also understand that, you know, ikra, watoto wasomo, you know, like it's non-negotiable. I understand things like that. But I don't think it's trauma on a personal level. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's trauma. I actually blame how we, let me tell you something. We keep, you know, like Islam is perfect, you know, there's nothing that is coming, there's nothing that is being removed, right? We understand that. But while it is perfect, the world is not perfect. The world is evolving, right? So while we cannot evolve, we need to understand that as we are not, Islam is not evolving, but the generation, let's say for example, the generation of your mother, generation of me, and the generation of my daughter are very different. They are coming into environments where things are done very different. For example, let's talk about Gen Zs. Do you know how Gen Zs are? Gen Zs, they talk back. They tell you what they want. They quit jobs. Like I have somebody who wants to quit a 35,000 Kenya shillings job because anasema ye kuamka saa 12 hai make sense in her head. As a millennial, that is not possible. And you know they don't beg when they are fine. They don't. So as much as Islam is perfect,
I understand.
These generations are not. You know, generations are evolving. Time is evolving. Social media is there. AI is happening. The world is booming. So we need to find a way on how we can talk to our children in regards to our deen so that they can understand, but to articulate it in the language they understand. So it's not about beating necessarily. It's about we're not passing the information the right way to different generations.
Kwa sababu kwa nini tuseme hivyo, Mariam? The idea of labda, why do you wear your hijab? Like how many of us went through that kind of an lesson from our own parents or guardians, whoever, however you were raised, to actually get the knowledge before that this hijab was put on your head. How many of us? Mimi binafsi, Mariam, I don't remember having such a conversation.
Si tuko busy na kitchen party.
Apart from Apart from that ni kwamba yes, unaenda madrasa ndo unavishwa hijab, lakini ni wangapi katika wazee wetu, wazazi wetu, ama hata anayetutizama aelewe like there is a need right now. Kama unavyosema generation inabadilika kila uchao, mambo yanazidi kuwa makubwa. Dini inabaki vile vile. Maamrisho ya Mungu yanabaki vile vile. Lakini ukiangalia Mariam ni kwamba leo mimi nitamkalisha binti yangu pengine miaka 5. Nimwambie kwa nini anavaa hijab na kwa nini Mwenyezi Mungu ameiweka hijab. Na naamini Mariam hilo likiingia kwake katika akili yake, kila akikuwa atazidi kufafanua mambo, anatajua haivai kwa sababu anaogopa ataonekana na wanaume. Kuna hiyo nayo.
Yes.
But anavaa kwa sababu Mola wake amemamrisha na kuna hikma behind ye kujistiri kichwa chake. Okay.
It's all information.
It's all information.
It's basically, you know, all the topics we'll be discussing in this platform going forward, it's all the gap of information. We tend to think that information iko tu hapo, you know, like, oh, you're a Muslim person, you know, umenda madrasa, you should know. But no, we're not given enough information. Kwanza matters of hijab, many girls feel like hijab has been imposed on them. And the reality is, these are conversations we need to sit down as Muslims and understand. Again, I repeat, as much as Islam is perfect, the rest of the world is evolving. Let's say, for example, a 20-year-old Gen Z right now, you know, she's in a space where I wasn't, or you weren't. A space where she can see a girl from the UK, amevaa hijab, amevaa maybe trouser, amevaa na boob top, you know, and you know, like all these things, you cannot tell me that this child cannot learn from all this. At the end of the day, we are all learning in the spaces we are. So information. Me, I insist on
information kwa sababu when you analyze such kind of a girl, ambayo umetoa mfano wa UK, why do you think she's covering only her head but the other part of her body is actually not recommended according to Sharia?
Yeah, because this will sound bad, but she's evolving. She's in her Deen is not evolving, but how she is, you know, she's influenced by the West. She's influenced by the environment she's in. She's influenced, but she wants to fit in, you know. So if we don't sit down and make, let me tell you something. I think also while we are discussing the hijab, let's just make our viewers understand something. Women in Islam will lack something called information. Not all of us, but most of us. And once we understand this, it will be very easy for us. We think we know information, or we think we know our rights, or we think we know why we are doing the things we are doing. And then when you do your research, then you realize everything was told to me, but I did not learn it.
I did not research it for myself.
Rahma, you're going to speak. Rahma, yeah. But now, if I say Rahma, you are A, B, C, D, and then you go and, you know, unakaa chini, unatafuta kwa nini Rahma, I'm A, B, C, D. No, it's very different. You will embrace it because you did the work for it. But when it's me, you know, telling you A, B, C, D, and wewe mwenyewe hujaichukulia. And that's why I'm saying, like, hijab and mothers go hand in hand, right? Mothers and hijabs go hand in hand. For example, we both have daughters. So you can imagine, my daughter right now say, oh, mommy is wearing hijab, so I have to wear hijab. But Rahma, that's not enough. Your daughter, my daughter, they need to be sat down. They need to understand what Islam says about the hijab. Not just from madrasa, not just from, you know, random talks, but now, you know, those talks we have in regards to kitchen party that are very useless, if you ask me. Now, those are the conversations we should sit down with our daughters and have. No, kitchen party is useless.
Alafu, I think ni kwamba alhamdulillah, kila ukisoma Mariam, kila ukijifunza mengi kukuhusu wewe mwanamke binafsi, kisha pia ujue kwa nini umeumbwa kama mwanamke. Na nakwambia hii topic itakayokuja inshallah kuhusiana hilo swala ambalo unagusia kwamba watu wameiweka ndoa ama kumwabudu Mungu badala ya kumwabudu mke. Hiyo itakuwa ni discussion, lakini ndio maana wengi sasa hivi tukizungumzia kama hivyo huenda tukapigwa vita kutokana na kwamba the minute mwanamke anazifahamu haki zake na yeye haswa binafsi anafaa amche Mola wake kwa hali gani na awe katika mazingira gani, watu hawapendi.
Of course.
Too much information. Hata wewe unapigwa vita one or the other.
Yeah. When you're too outspoken is a problem. I don't know, you know, me I keep asking. Sijui kama watu wataka watu wakue mafala. Unajua ukiwa fala problem. Ukikuwa tena una information problem. But me I say, like, I'm in that space where now I'm telling young women, you just find information for yourself. It's your due diligence. Understand you understand the morals, values, and principles that you need to have as a Muslim woman, not the ones that your person wants you to have, not the one that your parents want you to have. You get to a point now you will answer to Allah on your own. You know, hakuna mtu atakusaidia kujibu maswali. You will answer on your own. So because naturally humans, we will always have an opinion. You know too much, it's too much. You know less, you are dumb. So at the end of the day, you just be you.
Do you think being so comfortable with how things have been perceived throughout your growing up, you understanding how the society works with the family, it could mean that you are accepting everything, and being in that comfort zone will actually delay a woman finding out more about her deen and every situation that she comes across?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. At the end of the day, we are shaped
kwa sababu kuna na uvivu wa kujifunza.
And you know, like Rahma, you come from the coast, so you would understand that. I keep saying, there's a time I wanted to say this in on TikTok. Something they do interviews, and I said, I want to do interview with this guy. I want to ask, what's the problem with coastal women? It's not like they have a problem majorly. What's the problem with, you know, like being lazy mind-wise? You know, you choose to be lazy, you know. And it's not all rounded, but it's just in terms of information. And that's the thing. And that's why I'm seated here saying it boldly, because I know when you are trying to speak out, stones will come. But it's the reality.
It's the reality.
Coastal girls are known to be...
I would say the same. We are in denial. Most of our women are in denial. And it's all about the comfort. You know, once you're out of your comfort zone, you will actually find a lot of things that do not settle well with you once you are learned. Okay? So it's all about not wanting to just use yourself enough to understand things and get out and be unique. Don't go with the group. Oje sasa ni ile madamu tumeinukia, mila zetu ziko hivi ndo wazee wetu walivyofanya. Ukienda kinyume na hayo, ama ujaribu kujitoa kidogo uweze kuleta ufahamu kwa yale ambao yamekuwa kifanyika, pengine hata ni makosa, utapigwa vita, Maria. Big time.
Because you're standing out in 1,000 and you're just one, you know. Everybody wants to be comfortable. And you say just in regards to just the same topic, I want to say that you know, like how also our scholars, our imams, you know, our leaders, they pass information in regards to that same hijab. For example, I was looking at a story of a girl who was beaten to death by the brothers. It was all over Al Jazeera, everywhere. And you know, like these things shape the world. And that's why I'm saying social media plays a very big role.
It was an honor killing.
Yes.
That's what they call
it an honor killing. But remember, it's not just that simple. That girl was killed. It was all over social media. How many Muslim girls do you think watched that video? How many non-Muslim girls do you think watched that video? How do you think that shaped them? That's the question. So at the end of the day, also, you know, like there was this debate and there were Shaq, you know, we have Shaq who reason, and then we have those who decide to say whatever they want to say. So those who decide to say what they want to say, they were saying like, no, you know, hijab is a must. When mtoto wa kike, when mtoto wa Kiislamu, you're shaping somebody's daughter to run away from Islam. You're shaping somebody's daughter to remove the hijab and run away from Islam because they feel like you're being too extremist. So I also think our leaders play a very big role how they communicate all this. Even our fathers, our brothers, no honor killing. You know, you can sit down your daughter and have this conversation. Also me, I don't know. I keep saying like all this is a journey. You know, Allah said we don't judge people. Whether you're wearing hijab, whether you're walking naked, whatever, you know, like Allah does not judge. So who are we to judge?
Ndio mimi husema kila siku zote waambua ndo hayo kwamba usimhukumu mwenzako, huwezi jua usiku wake na Mola wake uko namna gani.
Exactly.
Tutarudi Mariam, acha tupate a short break ambapo tunaangalia life beneath the hijab na kusihi ubaki nasi. This is Annisa Talk Show Kenya. Welcome back to our podcast Annisa Talk Show Kenya, and the discussion is about life beneath the hijab. Mariam, thank you so much for joining us on this segment. And in regards to the hijab, by the way, kuna wengi wanajiambia hijab by the way haijaekewa mwanamke peke yake. You know that, right? Kwa mwanamume pia kuna hijab. Na mara nyingi inakuwa hijab yake ni ya jicho. Apart from that, tukizungumzia sasa on a physical aspect, do you know that vile unavyosema Mariam, mambo yanabadilika, generations zinakuwa tofauti na how we understood from the past. Hata mishono ya wanaume katika jinsi wanavovaa either kanzu ama mavazi yao ya kiume, you notice that they've changed, right?
Yes, of course.
Mimi nilishangaa nilipoona kanzu za wanaume sasa hivi zinashika mwili.
Oh, like the tie. Like,
what's your take on that?
See,
like
watu wanataka kuonyesha, what do you call it, muscles, my biceps. But it's just the realities, you know, people are just...
But then we as women, obviously ukimwona namna ile, aren't we going to be attracted to such a person?
Yeah.
Ushaona sasa? So the hijab actually evolves around both genders.
And on that, let me tell you something. I think on another episode we'll discuss the same in regards to women being put, yani pressure being put on women in regards to mambo ya haya. You know, me I keep saying Islam said haya, yani wewe kuwa na haya, mimi nikuwe na haya. Both of us tumeandikiwa haya. So I think that topic, it's wide. I don't want to open it right now, but it's a wide topic where we discuss both of us, our responsibilities in regards to what is expected of us, in regards to our clothing, in regards to haya and everything. So yeah, but yeah, men also wanafaa kuwa na haya.
Being a modest, you know, Islam is all about modesty. Na nilikuwa na kueleza kuhusiana hili swala la kama sisi, I try to be published today, but then you are in black. Na majority of women, vile mimi ninavyoshuhudia Mariam, tunaonekana kwamba haswa katika bara Afrika, ama mostly East African side, tumekuwa sana katika kulielewa vazi letu lazima liwe rangi nyeusi,
black. Yeah.
But again, ukiangalia katika sasa hivi kama unavyosema, tupo kwenye utandawazi na tunaona ulimwengu mwingine away from how we are depicting things down here. Na unaona kwamba wenzetu hawako katika vazi la black. Ushaona ni kwamba as long as amejistiri, but then how modest is modesty?
How modest is modest? That's a good question. How modest is modest?
Kama vile mfano uliotoa ukasema kwamba uenda ukakuta binti amevaa hijab yake vizuri, lakini huku kwengine yuko aura. Okay? Like sasa ni kwamba either hajafahamu ama ni kwamba ameinukia katika mazingira ambayo najua hiyo ni sawa as long as kichwa changu kimefiniki.
Also, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Where we're imposing hijab and forgetting the whole other aspect. That's also a good point, because again, we see how fathers, brothers, I wouldn't say mothers. I see mothers focusing so much on the whole aspect, but fathers and brothers, they focus so much on hijab, you know. Kwambia mtoto hata akivaa trouser we mtande, everything we mtandio, you know. So that makes point, you know, because
so what's the secret behind the head covering? Is that sisi hatuna hiyo knowledge ama nini ambacho kinafichika?
It's just the same way like I was saying before we went for break. It's what do you call it? It's a what? It's a misgap in regards to information. You know, when you're just telling somebody you're posing hijab on them, you're not giving them enough information. We are born Muslims, but information is still power. That's why we're taught under madrasa, that's why we're taught under advocacy, that's why we're taught under mahad, you know, just to get enough information. So you need to understand also, so many Muslims walking around the earth don't have enough information. So many. So wallahi watu wanajitafuta information right now. That's the thing I say. Technology is breaking the world apart, but also technology kuna pahali inafunika. Hata kama si pali kubwa, kuna pahali technology is just doing a very good job, because right now you can just go unlike zamani. Ungoje I don't know, you ungoje uende msikitini mawaidha, I don't know, or your father to tell you something, or your mother. We're not in that era anymore. And that's the thing I'm saying. People need to catch up with reality. Islam does nothing to catch up with, but reality of where we live and the world we're in right now. Right now you can get information. It's as simple as me and you sitting here and we don't know anything. Tunachukua simu and right now we have all the information. So it's just a misgap in information. So I think tukikuwa na enough information, itatoa hii gap yenye tuko nayo ya hijab, but still I don't believe itaitoa sana, kwa sababu kuna also the aspect of technology, again now the negative side, where nimekwambia watu wanaishi vile wanaona wenzao wanaishi. For example, let me just pose this on you in regards to opportunities, right?
Yes.
You know, like I did fashion for a very long time, and you'd see like I have so many girls when walikuwa mashallah, they were modeling for me at that time. They were very young, I think 19, 18, they're just from high school, 17. And right now I see them on Instagram. They're very different people, you know. And I keep telling other people, you know, it's a journey. They're in a journey, you know. They will find their way back at the end of the day, because now in that fashion world, that is expected of them. And it's very hard for you to make them understand if you did not make them understand from the word go. You are just saying, oh, hijab ni lazima, ujue mtoto wa kike, ujue mtoto wa kike hafai kutembea usiku, ujue mtoto wa kike. Those are not enough information. You're just imposing statements on people. Make somebody understand the weight of what you're saying. So it's all about
give me reasons why I don't need to
not
walk
just
alone
reasons,
at
but
night.
enough reasons, you know. You know, people are told to read. Islam is there so that we can read and understand. So why are we being given half-baked information? Why impose, oh, Rahma, you know you're not supposed to wear A, B, C, D. You need enough information so that you can articulate and sit down and say, okay, that makes sense. These are the ups, these are the downs, these are the gaps, and all those things. So with enough information, you can see there are girls who mtu utatoka kabisa, you stop wearing hijab. But inshallah, you know, because imani yako bado iko pale pale, you find your way. And that's the thing I keep saying. At the end of the day, imani ya mtu, they'll find their way back.
They'll find their way
but
back.
Again, we don't want to have that conversion, because wanasema you are, what do you una pump. Yani kama unaambia kaeni bila mtandio, mta find your way back. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they will find their way.
Dua ya mzazi. Dua ya mzazi.
And dua,
mambo mengi hatuwezi ya control. Wajua ikiwa beyond your control, what is next ama what is left ni kwamba uombe tu dua, Mwenyezi Mungu ampe hidayah yule mtoto. Kwa sababu hakuna kama dua. Mariam, I know you've been traveling a lot. Alhamdulillah. Na pengine under the UN delegations, a lot of forums that you've been covering. Has it ever been a bias issue when it comes to you being seen as a hijabi woman?
Honestly, it's always biased, not just even in the UN. You know, it's biased because there's so many misconceptions in regards to Islam. And that's why I cannot wait for the rest of the episodes of this show, because now we are tackling real life issues. As a Muslim woman, you tend to be in these spaces and you're fighting for the whole of Ummah, you know, because you cannot remove your hijab. You have to stand up for what you believe as a Muslim person. And all this is understood very differently from the other people. You get it? I usually have arguments with Muslim men in regards to the same topic, because they're saying like, oh, the West want to impose this and this about Islam.
Brainwashing.
But it's there's that, let's leave that aside. But there's also the gap of information. We have people, Christians, people who are not even Christians, who when you wanasoma Quran and understand Quran just to tolerate Muslims and to know how to coexist around Muslims. So if enough information is out there, that biasness will not be there, because you might sit in a place, Rahma, umekai, wewe umejikalisha tu, and you are the only person with hijab. And you know, people are just looking at you thinking, umechapo, ukalazimishwa asubuhi, ama umebeba bomb.
Like, don't you feel hot?
Don't you feel hot?
The so high.
Don't you know how beautiful you are if you just open that hijab? All those questions, you know, they're very curious about a lot of. Are you being violated in any way? Because those are the information that are out there. So it is also our job to make sure the right information is outside there. So people like us, when you go outside there, you make people understand I'm wearing the hijab because it is part of who I am. It's my identity as a Muslim woman, and you are trying to explain why it is actually your identity as a Muslim woman. So yeah,
I think pia upande wa character.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu what defines you is who you are. Okay?
Yeah.
In terms of tabia nyingi ambazo zipo, lile tendo la wewe kuwa ni Muislamu, ni mwanamke wa Kiislamu, na unavaa hijab yako, tayari unapojigubika ile hijab, kuna tabia fulani ambazo zinaambatana na wewe, Mariam. Who you're not supposed to just come out of it. Ndio maana utaona wanawake wengine wanakuambia, angalia vile alivyovaa sivyo matamshi yake anayoyatoa. You know, that kind of how do I say, statements ambazo zinaibuka. So does it mean like unapoivaa hijab you have to change your character automatically?
I sadly disagree with that.
You disagree?
I disagree with that, because you know, we are talking about the hijab is your identity. You know, the hijab is your identity. You're covering yourself, it's your unafunika haya yako and all those things.
Yes, yes.
But you are a human being. You are a human being. You know, I really hate it when I hear somebody says, we mbona unaongea hivyo wewe uone aibu kama unaongea hivyo na umefunga mtandio. Subhanallah, I'm just a human being. I can get angry. I can snap out of the world, you know. Wewe unatembea na mwanamume umevaa hijab. How is the hijab related to me walking with a man? This thing, I don't get it. You know, they are very unrelated. I can wear my hijab and I can sit here with another man and we can have a conversation. You know, wewe umevaa hijab. They quote the hijab and the thing you're doing coexistently. And that's the thing I'm saying, misinformation. That's why, you know, like the other time, kumekuwa na this Russian guy happening, you know, this controversial story. The one thing that I've hated on social media is every Muslim man going live to say, wanawake wetu wa Kiislamu mmeona huko, mwezi wana wanawake na hijab, you know, hijab, Russian guy, hijab, Russian guy. I don't get it, you know. We are humans, you get it. And my issue was, like, I was just telling everybody around me, we should have just kept quiet, because at the end of the day, we have so many Muslims who are walking without hijabs. So just because we didn't see a girl with a hijab there, you know, so they're quoting, because we wear hijab, you can never find us in that environment. So ni kama
wanafurahia in a way, like hakuna mwanamke wa Kiislamu alopatikana katika
which is okay. Alhamdulillah, they are proud of their women, but my problem is quoting the hijab, like mwanamke amevaa hijab haispatikana kwa mazingira hayo. It's a lie. Wallahi, subhanallah, there are women who wako kwa club. People are just out here doing things with the hijab. You know, they're very unrelated. Of course, at the end of the day, as Muslims, we do understand the morals, values, and principles we need to have as Muslim people, right? Yes. So that is enough.
Now, in the end, it's all about you. Kama ulivyosema pale mwanzoni, Mariam. Siku ya kuulizwa maswali mbele ya Mola wako ni wewe, tuna amali zako.
Nobody else.
So hapa kwamba unaridhisha watu just because they would like you or put you back to their group. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make. I was really pissed with that statement, and I saw many videos. Mmeona wanawake wetu sisi, wanawake wetu na hijab hawawezi. What do you mean?
And
why are you mentioning the hijab in this context?
Apart from what you're saying, do you know that a lot of issues have been coming up on social media, mostly the app TikTok, ambapo kuna vita vya baridi nasema mimi kuhusiana na masala ya Uislamu na waso wa Islamu. Kwa sababu na notice kama jambo kama hilo likitokea, ama wale I'm proud to be Muslim wako wapi, inakuwa hivyo vita vinaanza.
Exactly.
So ni kwamba ile fikra iliyoko kwamba nyinyi mwajiona mko bora zaidi.
Thank you. And as much as we might think that way, we're living in a world where we coexist with other people.
That's a fact.
So we need to learn, we need to teach our children, we need to teach ourselves how to tolerate each other. We are all humans. Somebody quoted something very important to me, you know, and he made a lot of sense. All human beings, no matter your religion, we have an end goal. What's the end goal? Heaven. Islam, heaven. Christians, heaven. You all want to go to heaven. So can we just focus on the end goal and let everybody live as per how they understand, relate, or even believe, you know? Because those quotes are exactly why people misquote things like, you know, like I've sat down with non-Muslims, and you're trying to make them understand why you're wearing the hijab, and they still don't get it. You know why? Because back in their mind, they know you feel you're better. You feel no. Wanajaribu kuelewa like unaona wewe bado.
You're not making sense. As a woman,
because of those statements.
Because utaweza kuonana na wengine ambao ni wanawake wenzako pengine kwenye functions, labda indoor function. They see who you are actually without your hijab, and they'll be wondering like, hey, na kwa nini unajifunika na uko mrembo hivyo?
Yes.
So I don't know how you start tackling and understanding and making them understand why you have to do what you had to do.
But trust me, social media is doing damage in regards to our leaders. The things they say, now everybody can talk about everything. Mtu anachukua simu anabash. That's the problem.
Mariam, let's take another break, and inshallah when we are back, we look at it as a career. You know, kuna a lot of challenges ambapo wanawake wa hijab wanapitia, and I believe wengi wao wanaangalia like, can you really perform with the perception ambayo imekuwa created out there that kuna uvivu fulani, hawa wanawake hawawezi kazi kwa sababu the way washazoea kupewa na baba zao na waume zao. So how well can you understand this notion? Mtazamaji, na kusihi ubaki nasi. Na karibu tena mtazamaji ndani ya podcast yetu hii The Nisa Talk Show Kenya, ukiwa na Rahma Swale. Nipo na Mariam na tunaendelea na gumzo hili kuhusiana na the life ama life beneath the hijab. Na Mariam, do you know that the Quran mentions the word hijab 7 times? All right? Na understanding this idea ya sasa hivi mwamko wa wanawake wengi haswa kupitia social media ambao wameinukia katika maamkuzi ya Kiislamu, lakini sasa wameivua hijab. I don't know, are we going back to the same misconception ambao tumekuwa tukizungumzia Mariam? Kwa sababu the word hijab yasemekana haijatajwa exactly in the Quran, lakini inamaanisha tu a screen, a barrier ama partition, ambapo suratul Ahzab imeweza kuweka wazi, suratul Maryam vile vile imetaja. Na mwisho wa yote hayo waambiwa katika the word hijab also appear as a barrier or screen katika Fussilat na baadhi ya sura. So could it be going back to the same? Because kwangu mimi wallahi ni sadness of some sort kuona kwamba these are the women ambao sasa hivi ndani ya jamii, ndani ya mujtama, ndani ya ulimwengu ambao wanawatizama, wanajua this is the right way to go. But again, is it because wameona kwamba haikutajwa kama kipande cha nguo? Ndio wao wakaona labda tumedanganywa sisi kuhusiana na uvaaji wa hijab.
And what is the right way to go in this context? Subjective. Mana again, unajua zamani the way we're just discussing, ulikuwa sheikh mtaani atasema hivi, baba atasema vile, mama atasema hivi, auntie atasema, yani wewe mtoto unakuzwa na the whole community. So you are getting information from the whole community, and the same community was getting information from the same community.
Kwa sababu ni kama udongo umekuwa ukitengenezwa vile unavyotaka.
So that is the shape that you got. But now again we go back to generations, intergenerations, and then we go back to social media. Technology is advancing. Like for example, pale nyuma, when we talk about information and how people are now interpreting the Quran, pale nyuma ilikuwa ni sheikh atafanya kazi yake nini, maulama wote, kila mtu afanya kazi yake, wanakuja wanakuambia this is the way, this and this and this, na watu okay amesema, unajua amesema. Right now we are countering sheikhs, sheikh anaongea, wewe unasema si hivyo, umeelewa wewe, hebu tupe hadithi, na kikupa hiyo aya unamwambia wewe umeelewa vibaya, wewe hiyo aya ikusema hivyo, umeelewa. So there's also that gap, and it's very unfortunate and it's very sad, but that is what information does. For example, kama mimi ingekuwa sina information and I sit here with a sheikh aniambie Mariam unajua dini imesema ABCD, nitakuwa very keen to listen. Umeelewa? Lakini right now with the information that is out there, unajua everything is countered, because si una counter Quran, una counter the understanding ya ule mtu. Umeelewa tofauti? Si kama ambaye wa counter Quran. Kama imetajwa unamuza, mbona kama haijatajwa hijab? Wewe mbona haijatajwa hijab? That's what is happening, unfortunately. And that's what I'm saying. We need to understand the gap, the disconnect, and articulate it in a knowledge, in an information, in a sentence, in a word that they can understand. Umenielewa? Tukishajua hii ndo problem, maana hii ndo problem, kuna hiyo countering so much. Because right now everybody can get information. Mtu anasoma atafa, jamani, mbona mi kutoka nikwe mdogo hii aya wameniambia inasema ABCD, and then right now all of a sudden you're just interpreting it in your own way. Also that plays a role. So that's why I was saying social media is playing a very big, technology is playing a very big role in Islam. And if we do not tap on that gap and disconnect, tutabaki tu tukisema no, Islam does not evolve, Islam is perfect, but watu wanapotea. Umenielewa?
Watu wanapotea. Alafu pia hii issue ya kwamba sasa hivi mazungumzo yapo, utafiti watu wanafanya, but again Mariam, kuna na ile kama ilivyo swala la ndoa na talaka. Nikigusia tu hapo kidogo, do you know that kuna wanawake wengi ambao mpaka leo hawajui kwamba wanaweza jikomboa iwapo kuna this and this and this reasons zilowekwa kidini. Na kuna wakati niliwahi kuzungumza na mtu ambaye yani alikuwa na ilmu ya kunizidi, Na katika kuligusia hili kwamba we need to actually enlighten women on these issues, like wajua watu wengi wanakandamizwa, wananyanyasika katika ndoa. Hawajui, wakaniambia mambo mengine inabidi yabaki tu hivyo hivyo, kwa sababu ukiwaambia itaroromosha nyumba nyingi za watu wataachika. Get that?
So we are adding damage.
Na kenyewe sasa majority hawataki kufunguka, kuyaelimika, kupata ile ilmu, wasizoee kwamba kilo anachopewa kikubali tu. But again, wakionekana pia wanainuka kwa mfumuko mkubwa, inakuwa problem. Too much information is too much according to.
But in the same light, you know, like when you go to social media, all platforms, let's take TikTok for example, and then ukaeke mashaka wenye wana quote mambo ya divorce, wanakuambia, and you know they are very practical in how they speak, and me I will keep saying they need to put information in a way that wanajenga na wabomoi, because women akili watu wameamka, umenielewa? Women are not the same women watoto wadogo wale, unajua mlikuwa mna information, mko majumbani mmejifungia. Women are getting information out here.
But again,
wewe unasimama kwa TikTok and you're saying like giving half-baked information. Mwanamke anaomba talaka, Mwenyezi Mungu anamchukia ule mwanamke.
I've seen that.
And then it's just that.
Sasa hapo ni shida ya yule alo-edit. Mara nyingi ile darasa nzima imesikika tu na wale walohudhuria pale wakiwa na shaka.
Unfortunately, that's
na
what
mara nyingi
get.
That is what is catchy.
Yes.
Kwa sababu anataka reaction ya watu. By the end of the day, it's all about social media and how people react to your post. I know. That's why hata kuna mashekha wengine utaona watu wanateta kwa sababu mwenzake alisema kitu na kikaekwa tu kile ambacho kitaweza kuchocha pale.
They put the worst information, like just a very small part of information.
Kuna group sasa zinaenda na who said what and who was left with what.
People need to give us full information. You know that if I do this, I'm wrong, and if I do this, I'm right. This is what is expected of me, but this is also what is expected of my partner. And that's the same thing. Women advocate walisimama kwa sababu we felt like everything is being mentioned in regards to uplift a man. Ndio maana unaona advocacy ya wanawake ikatokea, because Rahma unakaa hivi hapo unasema wewe mbona wataja tu makosa ya wanawake? Mwanamke mbaya ni hivi. You don't get videos talking about it's very ni moja kwa mia. Mwenyezi Mungu apendi mwanamume mwenye yani si mzuri kwa mke wake.
Alhamdulillah, siku hizi nimeona baadhi wanajitokeza katika mashehe, wanaweza kueleza.
Lakini wenye wanaponda ndio wengi. Wenye wanaponda the other side ndio wengi. So you see also information is playing a very big role.
Lakini sasa hivi wengi ni sikio la kufa. Like hata uponde vipi, lakini mimi na msimamo wangu. Unajua sasa hiyo ndo athari iliyoko.
But that's not a good thing. No, we are disconnecting, Rahma. Wanawake wako in their own heads, wanaume wako in their own heads. We are creating a society where kila mtu anajifikiria vile anataka, kila mtu anafanya vile nafsi yake inataka. It's not a good society. It's not a good society to live in. It's not just Muslims. It's even Christians. They're going through the same thing. We are in a society where both genders are just living in their own light.
Sasa, tukija katika career wise. I've heard of a group of women discussing these issues, na mtu anakuambia, Mariam, nina all the papers that is required of me to get certain job. Lakini inapoangukia swala la kwamba I have to stick with my hijab. Kazi nyingi naambiwa lazima utavua, ama one way or the other hijab yako haitokuwa mwili mzima, na inabidi mtu aachane na kazi kama hiyo. Kuna wengine maybe tuseme labda wengi wanakuambia udhaifu wa imani, mtu anakubali because anakuambia nitapata wapi opportunity kama hii. How do you get out of this situation as a woman, mostly a hijabi woman?
Of course there's nothing that compromises your hijab. Unajua tuwezi kaa hapa tukasema wajua unaweza wabembeleza, sijui unaweza fanya nini. Your hijab is your identity. Unajua you are taking me as a package. Either you are taking me with my hijab or you're not taking me at all. There are things now, that's where we come for principles, values and morals. So we have people who mtu anasema for the sake of ABCD mimi natoa hijab yangu, and then we have people who understand for their morals, values and principles and say no, if I have to remove my hijab, wacha na kazi ikae. So it's also you as a person. But at the end of the day, we would never advise, or yani sisi kama wanawake hatufai kwa tunakaa in any setting tunajiambia ati unajua kama mtu hataki labda nivae hijab, unajua just find a compromise. There's no compromise, there's no compromise.
Na vile ukiangalia hijab comes as an identity of a person.
Yes, it's part of who you are.
Then why would others be shamed about it?
Information, Rahma.
Information.
Let me tell you, Rahma, you know, like when you do this work of advocacy, or when you're doing things like communication, the things that teaches you about people so much, psychology, you tend to understand that people take information as a very small thing. You see that information, nakwambia mtu anasimama anasema sijui mwanamke mwenye anachukiwa kwa Uislamu, and then somebody edits that part and then puts it on social media.
How
to them,
many?
they're looking for a logarithm, but they've broken so many girls. They've made so many non-Muslim.
They second question themselves about the
non-Muslims
action they made. Maybe kuna mtu tayari ameshaiomba khulwa.
Mtu mwenye alikuwa hata Hashem Islam anasema dini gani hiyo? Dini gani wanagandamiza mwanamke? You know, like
pingu za maisha, hatuna pingu za maisha, Mariam.
Yes, and then also the same questions that rises all the time. I'm sitting with non-Muslims, wanakuuliza mbona all the videos are talking about makosa ya mwanamke? Kwani nyinyi wanaume wenu ni like angels or whatever? Because all the videos are edited.
They know them out there, Mariam. They know them. So then they know whatever they know, and then now they're asking us, unajua like mbona nyinyi videos videos zote mashek tu wanaongelea ni wanawake, mwanamke mbaya, tabia 7 za mwanamke mbaya. Wana play a big part ya kuonesha oppression is indeed in our religion.
Yeah.
You know that.
They're pumping the bullying of Islam, not in a bad way. Subhanallah, they don't know, but they are. Or whoever is editing those videos is pumping the bullying of Islam.
Tutakuja na hii topic inshallah, Mariam, kuhusiana na the modern woman versus the traditional husband. Yes. Oh my God.
So your hijab is just a place where they are choosing to just hide. But the point is they're imposing their cultures and their tradition in how mwanamume anafaa kuwe. Yani ndo mwanamume ndo kusema wewe utavaa hiyo hijab, wewe utafanya hivi. It's just culture and tradition.
My favorite Sheikh Juma Amir, Mungu ampe afya na uzima, always says dini haikuja kwamba mwanamke ni dini ya pili, mwanamume ya kwanza. Tuko sote kwenye daraja moja. So hapa kuitafuta ilmu waambua ni haki yako. Itafute, uielewe, uone kuna tofauti gani ambao hukuielewa hapo mwanzo na sasa unaleta marekebisho. Mariam, just to wind up. Tuna kama nafikiri dakika 1-2. Hijab differs in different countries, right? This, I mean, the aspect of it ni kwamba we are more holier because we are the way we are. Ama what is it?
Subhanallah, no, I don't think so. And for example, we both understand this as Muslim women.
Yes,
you know? The abaya is an Arabic attire.
So is the kanzu.
Is an Arabic attire. Yes. It's not a Muslim attire. It's an Arabic attire, right? So let's say, for example, in West Africa, Africans, they don't embrace, okay, they do wear abayas, but they embrace their own culture so much, and they're still modest. Mtu amepaka ameshona kitenge yake kubwa, amemfunika kila kona, you know, and they're just wearing their, it's the same, for example, with gowns, yeah? West Africa, they don't swaya na mambo ya gown. Nao wanavaa ile tradition zao zile za zamani zile. Because it's not like part of who they are. It's the same like our abayas. It is an Arabic attire. And then I think people don't understand this. Mimi nashanga mtu anasema ati wewe umevaa kanzu ameenda club. That's the thing with hijab. I'm saying, like, how is kanzu related to going to the club? People need to understand this is an Arabic attire. Waarabu wenyewe wanavaa hizi kanzu wanaenda nazo club. They party the whole night with the kanzus. Alafu sasa sisi ndo tutaka kujifanya sasa sisi kanzu ndo mavazi ya dini.
I think we go back to
the issue.
Misinformation. Misinformation na social media sasa hivi. Kama inavyoitwa utandawazi, mambo mengi ilikuwa hayajulikani. Sasa hii you can be here. Na uone maisha live yakiendelea katika nchi ya ughaibuni. So ni mambo kwamba sasa watu wameona, wanaona what is happening, mbona lakini yalikuwa yamefichika. That's why they didn't have the knowledge of what was going on around the world. Mariam, thank you so much for this talk. Now, wallahi, I believe we may open eyes and ears to so many women out there, because this is their platform. And looking forward to other topics that we'll be discussing. Kuna moja sihitaji kwa sasa, wacha tuwaache katika hali ya hamu. Lakini mtazamaji, asante sana for having us. I'm having you on this show. Na vile vile mtazamaji, tutakuwa ni wenye kukuletea kipindi kijacho. Na tunaangalia masala wanawake kwa ukubwa. So hapa tukipurwa mawe tutakuwa ni wenye kujenga nyumba nyingi sana. Naitwa Rahma Saleh. Bye bye.